Toledo, Ohio. Hi everyone, welcome to Toledo, Ohio. Today I'm working on Real Toledo. So staying here at the Renaissance, which is right in the center of downtown. A lot of resurgence going on here. And we're gonna go meet Garrett, who's super cool, knows the area, was born and raised in Toledo, and he's going to talk to us about different regions in Toledo. So stay tuned, let's go meet Garrett. I come here and give Awesome.
Hi, my name's Garrett Luring. I am a realtor with the Luxian Home Team and Danbury Company. I was born and raised here in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, man, I want to know about Toledo, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you reaching out. Toledo's got a lot to offer, and it's developed a lot in the past 20, 30 years. So a lot of people know glass and the Jeeps. Manufacturing, that's kind of our big thing here. That's our big industry. But what we've seen recently is a lot of renovations downtown, a lot of focus on building out restaurants, small mom and pop shops, night markets, things like that going on here. So the way Toledo's broken up, you really, within the city limits, you have the city center, which is where we're at now, downtown. So outside of the city center, you have kind of the different directions of Toledo. So you have North Toledo, which is bordering up against Michigan and has Point Place, which is a great harbor town. You have East Toledo, which is where you can find the casino and also borders the Maumee River and up against Oregon area. Then you have South Toledo, that's actually where I live. You can find the zoo there, you can find the Stranahan Theater, which has a lot of different plays and things like that, musicals and such. And then you have West Toledo, which is going to be up bordering Sylvania area. You can find the Botanical Gardens, Wildwood Metro Park is up there as well, and great restaurants all throughout.
So let's go through a scenario where, let's say, well, I'm from Buffalo. Let's say Buffalonian or a person from Cleveland or even Detroit, because I know a lot of Toledo's economy is also driven and historically was driven by the auto industry in Detroit, right?
Yep.
So I would assume you have a lot of potential investors from these regions looking at Toledo, especially because Toledo is, from a cost perspective, the housing stock is fairly inexpensive. The rents are strong, right? So you get that combination of kind of a value property that you're paying. I think it's approximately $90 per foot in value, very approximately. And then your average rent, median rents in the area is anywhere between $975 to $1,000, right? So you got strong rents, strong demand for rents, and you got a low price point to enter. So it's an ideal place for an investor. So talk to me from an investor standpoint. And if you want, we could go, pictorially draw like a box, because I'm an engineer, I like that visual. Maybe show us like where an investor would invest in Toledo or homes and rent it out.
You do have some options for homes right outside of the downtown Toledo area, okay. Absolutely. And I would say the majority of the multifamily properties that are coming on are probably in West Toledo and the very bottom of North Toledo. Okay. That's where you're seeing a lot of those coming active, but we do have a lot in East Toledo as well.
Okay, all right. So maybe pictorially, because I am a pictorial guy, and from a zip code perspective, could you talk about, and we go back to that question, I'm from Buffalo, or I'm from Cleveland, or I'm from Detroit, and I want to buy an investment property here in Toledo, a single or a double or a triple. Where would you take me to in general? And after this, where are we going to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were coming down anywhere from out of state and you were looking for an investment property, I would first you to look into the suburbs. So Maumee, Perrysburg, Sylvania, because they have higher rents, typically less maintenance. The homes are in better value or better condition and a higher value. and you just have a lot less vacancy, turnover, and problems.
Okay.
So I own a duplex in Waterville actually, and it's been a great investment property. Most of the properties you're going to find in Toledo are going to meet the 1% rule.
Okay.
So the problem with going into the suburbs is they don't always meet that 1% rule because they are nicer homes, higher value. In Toledo, you're going to find a lot of homes that meet that 1% criteria. So if you insisted and you wanted to stay in Toledo, I would probably start down in South Toledo at the 43614 area.
Okay.
So again, that's getting near the zoo and you're still close to the water and you're bordering up against Maumee and Perrysburg. 43615 is also a desirable area. That airport highway runs through there. So airport highway takes you to the Toledo airport, but it's also a main drag of shops, restaurants, really everything you need you can find on airport. So it also is within good school districts. Up in North Toledo, people coming from Detroit would probably be the most familiar with because it is butting up to Michigan.
Okay.
So that's a great area, especially as you get over to the 43611 area code. That's what we call Point Place. And there is where you're going to have the harbor town, lots of people with boats, some beaches on Lake Erie. And really, if you enjoy the water and you enjoy that kind of lifestyle, that's a great area for that.
Okay, and so where we are right now, the Renaissance is 43611.
43611.
Is that here?
Yes, that would be right up here.
Okay,
on
and that's
the river.
Maumee River, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And what are your thoughts on the Maumee River and then the bridges? Is it the glass bridge that goes over?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
and so 43611 and 43605 zips.
So 43611 and 43605 are going to be getting into the east side of Toledo. Again, over here in the 43605 is where you'll find the casino, and it's butting up against Rossford. Also on the river, that's a really big part of the lifestyle there, is everybody on the river, being close to the river and so on. That's also where the original Tony Pacos was built.
Okay.
As I mentioned to you earlier, they showed up on an episode of MASH in the 70s, and that's kind of been their namesake.
That's super cool.
So those are both good areas, and you are closer to downtown.
Let's say I want maybe a recent transaction that you did. I'm looking for a double. I want to try to get it around 100,000, and I'm looking for about a 10% return on my money.
Okay. I would say if you can get one within the 43615 area code, even moving a little bit towards the 43606, or any of these up top, 43623, 613, 612, 611. There is less inventory in those areas.
Okay.
But when they do come up, they tend to be pretty good investments. So I would really say up along the edges of Toledo is where you're going to find some of your best properties.
All right, let's do it then.
Yeah.
Let's go take a walk. You up for doing a coffee down in the, what do they call it, the warehouse district?
Yeah.
Which is a super cool area. Is there any housing stock there?
There are multi-units, not necessarily duplexes, but say apartments and townhouses and such.
Okay,
So
so they're for sale?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
I'd say they don't come up as often.
Okay, and then value-wise, are those attainable in the price range?
Those would be obtainable in that price range, yes.
Okay, let's do it then.
Cool. So we were talking about the northern parts of Toledo, and specifically we mentioned the 43611 zip code.
Okay.
That's where we are now. We're in what we call Point Place, and it's up at the northern western tip of Toledo. So we are right at the border of Michigan. You can ride the water right over to Michigan.
So the water body we see is Lake
Erie.
Lake Erie.
Yes.
Okay.
So where we are now, we are actually surrounded by water on all three sides. We are in a peninsula called Upper Peninsula of Toledo. And basically, yeah, you got water over there, back there, and probably the closest access is going to be right down this street. A lot of people come here for the beach time, summertime. Yeah.
So tell me about this particular home. Was this bought by an investor from Michigan? And if it wasn't, tell me about sale price, and talk possibly if an investor were to buy this, how that would work out.
Yeah, so this home is currently under contract. We were listed at 106.5. We did have multiple offers on the home, and it went just over listing price. So what this home is a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath with a full basement. It was actually purchased by a first-time homeowner. I know they're extremely excited to close and get in there as soon as possible. But location-wise, I know a lot of people, it's kind of a niche location, but people who do want to be by the water, this is a great area for that.
And we talked about Toledo being such a strong rental market and quite affordable. So let's just flip this and make a fictitious scenario. If an investor from, like we talked about, Cleveland, or in this case, Michigan, we're right at the Michigan border, say a Detroit investor were to purchase this, right? Let's run some scenarios. What kind of rents could they get? What are taxes? Just very high level, Garrett, if you could share that.
Yeah, so taxes in this area, you're looking between $1,500 to $2,500 usually annually.
Okay.
Rents in this area can range from $850 to up to $1,300 depending on the home and how upgraded it is on the inside. So again, you're able to find a lot of homes that fit that 1% rule, as just kind of an easy calculation to look at it. I will say most of the homes up here are single family homes. There are some multi-family homes and units, but predominantly it is single family homes.
Okay, so for an investor, this would be a relatively good cash flow stream, and more importantly, you just said it's a single family neighborhood, so I would assume that they could engage property management, local property management, or possibly just self-manage it even, and get a fairly good return on investment. And what are you seeing as far as the capital appreciation? Like, this house sold for this much, let's say 3-4 years ago, what would this house have sold for?
Yeah, so when the current owner bought it in 2017, I want to say they paid around $65,000.
$65,000.
Yeah,
so it's been a strong appreciation.
It has been. It has been. The Toledo market's been very hot lately. So just like up here, there are many similar parts of Toledo. If you're looking at other area codes that maybe are away from Michigan or the water, you could look into 43614, which is right up against Maumee. You could look at 43615, which again is next to Holland and Airport Highway. 43605 is where you can find the casino and part of East Toledo, which does have more multifamily homes. 43605 also is an area with a higher density of multifamily homes. And then of course any of those areas up along the border of Michigan, 43611 where we are now, 43612 and 43613, you don't see as much duplex multifamily units going up for sale in those areas, but they do have good investments when they do come up. Some other areas that are definitely worth mentioning would be some of the suburbs like Sylvania, Ohio, Perrysburg, Maumee, Waterville, White House. You're getting into Anthony Wayne school districts and a little bit down to Wood County. Really nice living accommodations. Again, less inventory on the multifamilies and the investment properties, but when they do come up, they can be great investments.